You've heard my name, Yvette Schwert. I'm working in international marketing, and my favorite area is the axis between Germany and America. In New York, where I've been living for and working for many years, I've founded an international marketing agency, as a consulting company for international companies who want to locate in the United States, as a correspondent for a magazine. I blog and I write about new trends in marketing. And a real trend topic, ladies and gentlemen, is what I'm going to present to you. I would like to ask you to use your imagination, mobilize your imagination. Imagine America, but not the America of today, not the America with skyscrapers and technology and lights. Imagine America in the late 19th century. That's roughly what it looked like. 38 states, a dozen cities, and maybe 58 million inhabitants. Most of them live on the countryside and are not very happy because they don't have a lot of money. They can only shop in their local store, and that offers them a very little choice and very high prices. This is the surrounding. Two young business pioneers saw a unique chance. Richard Sears and Alva Robach recognized the problem of American shoppers and think up an entirely new business model to solve this problem. They invent catalog, online, mail order. The young company flourishes, and a bit later they have a complete chain of companies. So over 100 years ago, this is the basic foundation for what today is success in trade. I'm talking about multi-channel integration. Quite honestly, many people talk about multi-channel integration, but very few know exactly what we're talking about. I don't want to say that there's general ignorance about this, but I'm talking about a very vague kind of terminology. And I would like to clarify what I mean by this. When we're talking about multi-channel integration, we're talking about a kind of heading that looks at three stages. The first stage is multi-channel retailing. This means direct sale to the end customer by using one or more distribution channels, for example, a shop and an e-commerce website. In this field, at this stage, the retailer tries to get some consistency in prices and in ranges between the various channels, but the channels are used completely independent. And the next thing already builds a bridge between the various channels. This is what we call cross-channel retailing. For the customer, this means that during shopping, they can hop from one channel to the other. So, for example, they can shop online and pick up the goods in the store. But as you can see, these channels still, technically and from an organizational point of view, stay completely separate. The third and most highly developed stage of multi-channel integration, which we call omni-channel retailing, the various channels are just touch points in an environment, a shopping environment surrounding the customer. All product data, all customer data are centralized and are immediately updated. What does that mean for our customer? She can, at any time, access the entire inventory wherever it is. And she enjoys kind of seamless and consistent shopping experience, regardless of where she starts shopping, where she does the purchase, and where she picks up the products. This might sound a little bit theoretical to you, but I would like to give you a story about multi-channel integration. A few days before Christmas, a young father, there's many young fathers here, I met a few already, the young father buys a doll's house for his little daughter. But before he has the chance of handing over the present to her, the girl one day comes home and says proudly she doesn't want to hear anything about dolls anymore. She wants a tablet because all the cool kids in class have one. The father, what's his size, and goes to his laptop and looks online at his toy retailer. It does exist, but you don't really know whether, if you order it online, whether you get it before Christmas. That's the question. No problem. The toy trader is a multi-channel integrator. He offers a pickup function. You can pick it up at the shop. They call it click and collect in English. It's wonderful for the father because that's where he bought the doll's house as well. So he decides to buy the tablet online and goes to the shop and returns the doll's house at the same time. So far, so comfortable. But on the way out, he sees headphones, and he's got a bonus. He got a coupon from returning the doll's house, which he wants to use, so he decides to buy the headphones as well. But these headphones are stationary, and they don't have them anymore in the brick-and-mortar shop. We talk about an omni-channel retailer here, and he's got an internet terminal in the shop. So the young father goes to the internet terminal straight away, buys the headphones online, goes home a few days later. The story has a happy ending. The girl gets her tablet and the headphones as a surprise on Hogmanay. The dad is happy because she is happy, and it was a seamless and efficient shopping experience. And also the retailer, of course, is happy because he sold a lot more than he thought originally, and because he has kept a loyal customer. This kind of all-around happy experience was only possible because multi-channel integration was actually functioning. And by the way, the story, of course, is a fictitious story, but it's in America at Toys R Us, you can buy services, you can get online shopping, and you can online order, and you have a pickup area in the shop where you can pick up things that you have already paid online. But there is also small retailers, small retail shops which offer this type of service. For example, Westside Kids. Westside Kids is a small toy company which has got one shop, a telephone order service, and a website. You can order by telephone, or you can purchase and order by internet and then pick up in the shop. So there's smaller and larger retailers that have been looking at the multi-channel integration topic in a very concrete manner, but the development is really only in its infancy. And I find that retailers are really having a hard time with it at the moment. Why? There are 4 reasons for that. On the one hand, it's that, people tend to have a certain technophobia. I really am not telling you anything new if I say that traditional retailers are very good at what they've been doing for a long time. They know about the brick and mortar trade, they know how to set up a shop, how to get the range, they know what lighting to use, and so on and so forth. But when it comes to technology, quite a few of them are really not all that happy. Some of them still have their emails printed off by the secretaries, and they admit that they have never ever been online to do shopping or anything else. And this kind of surrounding and environment really makes sure that you're really rather old-fashioned in your technology. Omni-channel retailing, if you want to do it, you really need up-to-date computer know-how, and you need people who have this type of know-how. And usually these people are looking for jobs in other fields, not in retail. So it's very difficult to get the right people. The next point is the thinking like in silos. In many retail companies, the online and offline worlds are still about their own world center. There's hardly any touch point between the offline and the online trade. And the staff are really only optimizing their own channel, particularly since some of them get their money from the way their channel is functioning. So they're really competing rather than working together. And then, of course, there's the cost factor. Implementing, ordering a good infrastructure for omni-channel retailing, of course, is expensive. The reasons why retailers are having a hard time getting used to omni-channel integration, or they are understandable, but you really can't keep them up. Why? Because retailers have to act. I'm saying this because the environment is changing in such a dramatic way and has changed in such a dramatic way. If you want to buy a toy today, you can go to your brick and mortar favorite toy shop, but you can go to a discounter. You can use Walmart, you can use Plus, they can go to the pure online retailers, Amazon or eBay. And I have to say that the pure play online retailers aren't really that pure play anymore, because they have their own physical locations by now. They're setting up. eBay has a window where you can shop, but I say this because we're talking about multi-channel integration. The customer can, of course, buy from international suppliers, and they can go to e-commerce sites from the major retailers. They really have all the options. And so our competition has become much, much stronger. And there's an example in America that showed to me very drastically how important it is that classical retailers rethink their business today. It was just before Christmas. Amazon and Walmart did the Leapad from Leapfrog. They did a price war. They kept, sort of offering lower prices. Classical retailers have no chance whatsoever. They have to rethink. They have to rethink also because shopping behavior has changed in such a dramatic way. What do toy buyers do? What do they do? What do shoppers do? On the one hand, they do research online. We know from Google that 70% of toy purchases start online. And what else do they do? They practice something called showrooming. Once the shoppers are in the shop, many of them take their smartphone out. They look for reviews of something that they are interested in, and they research where they can get the product for a cheaper price. The practice to have a look around in the shop and then not shop anything at all or very little, that of course is done by 59% of US smartphone users, 59%. And all retailers dread it, of course. What else do they do? The shoppers. They shop online. The American shopper, 167 million people in the United States have bought online. 167 million US users, half of the population. Of course, the difference is nationally. Chinese shoppers are shopping 4 times as often online than Central European, and the Americans are somewhere in between. Online shopping has dramatically increased. Why do you think? Why do people shop online? Who wants an answer? There are several reasons for that. Why do people buy toys online? Yeah, because it's comfortable, it's easy, you can do it anywhere and everywhere, and you get the products delivered to you. You can really compare prices. You have better possibilities to compare prices. You have more choice, maybe. You also have lower prices. There are good reasons for shopping online. And with the penetration we have with mobile technology, we really expect online shopping to increase dramatically. What does this mean for retail? Will the shops become obsolete? Do you think so? Will brick and mortar shops become obsolete? Of course not. Today we assume that 85% of turnover in toys is still made in brick and mortar shops. 85%. Why? Why do people go to shops and like buying toys in shops? What are the reasons? Who has an idea? Who has an idea? Why do you like buying toys in shops? I'm sorry, I can't hear it anyway. So, because you can touch it, the tactile element. It's a tactile shopping experience. You can touch the toy, you can see it. Why else?
Yes, please.
It's really difficult to translate if you don't hear what people are saying. This is, of course, true. The lady said, sometimes you don't want to buy anything, but you're in a shop and you like it, and that's why you get the toy. I call this, it's a sort of sensuous shopping experience, and particularly attractive and magic in toy shops. I remember the huge Ferris wheel in Toys R Us. If you took a child there ever, it's such an experience. You cannot have that. You cannot replicate it on the internet. That's a very important reason. Anything else? You can get what you want now. If you can take it home with you that minute. And of course, there's another reason that I find very interesting. And I think it's a reason that doesn't really exist but it's felt. Many people have a problem with payment safety online. They don't think it's secure, or they want to pay cash, and that's why they go to a shop. All these reasons will still exist, so shops will continue, but they will have to redefine how we shall look at together. What's also redefined is the expectations customers have. What do customers want? They want to have maximum flexibility. In America, we say buy anywhere, get anywhere, return anywhere. They don't want to think about which tool to use. We talked to Friedrich von Sitzewit about it, because children can't really differentiate anymore what media they're using. Grown-ups don't want to differentiate anymore. They don't want to think about which channel to use. They want to do what's comfortable for them, what's easy for them. They want to use the channel that they have in front of them right now. And while they're shopping, they want to be able to change. They want to be able to purchase online and pick up offline. They want to have an online terminal in the brick and mortar shop. They want to be consistently getting good service, personalized service, seamless service. They want exactly what multi-channel integration offers. And we as retailers, we know what customers want. And what is it we have to do? We have to act, but I want to show you why you should want to act as retailers. Multi-channel integration has quite a lot of advantages. What is most interesting to us is profitability. Forrester told us that multi-channel shoppers are 3 times as profitable as single-channel customers. 3 times as profitable. That's a figure from Forrester Research. First of all, multi-channel integration gives you higher income and lower cost. So let's look at what comes in. What's our taking? If you offer click and collect, an option to pick up things in your shop. Once people are in the shop, as the young lady said, they probably see something else and buy other things. And if in the shop you have an internet terminal, then of course they won't leave the shop without buying anything. If you're out of that particular product at the moment, they'll order it online in your shop. In short, this is a sentence that I really would like you to take to heart. If you network your channels, the more network channels you have, the higher your chances of selling things are. But also the cost side will make things more profitable. How do you do that? If you have an infrastructure that is beyond all platforms, it's synchronized and rationalized, what do we create? We create more efficient processes, slimmer structures, more efficient management, and all this, of course, will save you cost in purchasing, in handling your goods, and in staff. And this will be a major bonus of multi-channel integration for your profitability. We thought about showrooming. Multi-channel integration is the best means against showrooming, because this dreaded practice can be, beaten with its own weapons. I brought you an example of Target. Target offers its customers in-shop a mobile app which helps them get content, download content and reviews, and which at the shelf, by scanning a QR code, they can shop. What is the benefit for the customers? Why do they need it? Because they want information. They can get information that way, and they can say, okay, I buy this thing, but I don't want to carry it home, or it's not in stock in the shop. And these are reasons why the customers would use it, because they then have it delivered home. Why is it useful for Target? Target says, if I give information to my customers, then I have at least the possibility of influencing them as well as other people. They don't have to go elsewhere for information, and I can also determine this content. But if my shop is used as a showroom, it's better if it's a showroom for my own online business than for anybody else's. This is why they're using this form of multi-channel integration. The third advantage is better data, a very important advantage. You're talking about 360-degree view. You probably heard about this. A retailer who accompanies his customer across the platforms, gets to know them better, understands their behavior, knows their likes and dislikes, knows what they want, and can give them better and more personalized service. The other day, I heard an interesting example. Disney, in its adventure park in Orlando, now has an RFID for visitors, RFID wristlet. Of course, they register where they go, what they like, what they don't like, and so they then will change their adventure landscape accordingly. But what's also interesting is that you can use this bracelet to put information on it. You can put your name in, you could put your favorite Disney character and the reason why you're there, and the person offering this service can use this information in order to give personalized custom to its visitors. The favorite Disney figure, say it's Cinderella. Cinderella will walk towards a child and say hello, maybe says happy birthday if it's a birthday visit, and gets it into a conversation and is personalized to the child. And of course, this is a wonderful service. And a company that has this kind of personalized service, which is only should be that personalized that it's seen as agreeable still, and that the private sphere is not really infringed. But this company is seen as customer orientated. It gives branding advantages, and it gives more loyal and more customers and more loyal customers. What do you think? Who's the company that does this best? This branding advantages and the customer loyalty, Apple. And Apple knows because with Apple multi-channel integration has been practiced for quite a bit. In short, there are a few advantages for multi-channel integration. It's definitely worth your while, but how do you do it? How can you as a retailer use this concept for your own shop? And I really would like to give you a patent recipe. I would like to say, do it this way and no other way. But the problem is I can't, because each company has to think up the concept of multi-channel integration and must adapt it to its own needs, its own customers, its own field of business and its own capabilities. Small companies will need a different solution than big ones, retailers another one than manufacturers. What do the small retailers want? What do small retailers want to do? I can tell you what the small retailers don't want to do. They don't want to do without multi-channel integration. In the opposite, it's much easier sometimes for them to use multi-channel integration. If you don't have old systems you have to exchange, because sometimes big companies can be rather slow to change. On the other hand, small companies, of course, can not afford huge high-tech solutions. But what can you do? What can small retailers do? First of all, it's important that you always don't just use one approach, not in parallel, but integrated approaches. For example, if you want to use internet or digital media, you want to extend your range. But what you want to do, you want to have a store, a brick and mortar store. You don't just want to use it to serve local customers, but also to give services that aren't possible online. One company that did this really well is a company called Baby Sling. Baby Sling offers baby carriers in New York. They've only got one shop, and they've got a very nice modern e-commerce site. Via the internet, they supply in all of America with these very popular baby slings. In store, what they offer is additional services. Of course, they sell these baby slings in store, but they also offer workshops, mommy parties, individual advice, and so on and so forth. Services you can't really get online. What I really liked, that there's lots and lots of links between the two channels. They always refer to each other, and that, of course, helps getting the channels integrated. What do big companies do? For example, Macy's. What big companies have the possibility to use all the benefits of multi-channel integration to order a service which, of course, will get bigger market shares. The closer product offers of all suppliers are, the more difficult it gets to have a unique position to show that your service is better. If you can show that your service is better and that your offers are better, then you will be the market leader. Macy's knows this, and this is why they offer a completely seamless shopping experience. If you're registered as a user and you start shopping online, and you, for example, have several products in your cart, shopping cart, then you remember when you're on the road, all you have to do is use your smartphone and see what your shopping bag looks like. And you're right exactly at the point where you stopped on the stationary computer. And you can continue and finish your purchase. And this kind of seamless experience makes customers very loyal. What does a retail chain do? They want to use multi-channel integration to show global presence without having local shops and having to set up a local shop. I can remember last year at the Global Toy Conference, people were talking about Tesco's with a virtual wall. But there's many toy retailers who use this multi-channel integration. Toys R Us, I like Toys R Us particularly much. Why? Because in airports around New York, before Christmas, they had these shopping walls. So people who were in a hurry could, get a hot list toy en passant and make sure that it arrived just before Christmas. This was so genius because they showed presents at the right time in the right place without having to open up a shop, which as a permanent shop wouldn't have been very profitable. And what do producers, manufacturers and brands do? They, of course, want to create brand awareness. They do this using many platforms. I chose a Mattel brand. Because of P.G. Lewis, the next person. This is American Girl. Look at their market appearance, how well coordinated it is and how they all reinforce each other. Now, each company and each large or small has to do multi-channel integration adapted to their own needs, particularly for e-commerce. And I thought in e-commerce, we really need a bit of light. Could you make this a bit lighter, please? I thought I would like to involve you in, I would like to know how does the audience here react. I would like to find out who of you thinks that in toy retail business you can't do without e-commerce. Maybe a show of hands. Who thinks that you can't do without e-commerce? I'd say less than half of you. Okay, so we'll turn this round. Who thinks that you can do very well without e-commerce? Who believes that without e-commerce you can keep going very well? Well, there's something not quite right here. Half of you said you can't do without e-commerce. Who thinks that you can take your time with e-commerce? Be brave. I would suggest something to you because I think it's interesting. It's an interesting basic question. Let's, try and find out together. I brought you a test which was drawn up by a consulting agency and by Bain & Company. With just a few statements, you can find out whether a particular field of business can take their own sweet time or whether there's urgent need for action. I would like to ask two people to come on stage, and I hope there's two people who have the courage to do so. It's not a stressful test. All you need to do is to value some statements between 1 and 5. 1 means doesn't apply at all, and 5 means I fully agree. I would like to get somebody from each group, one person who thinks that they can do without e-commerce, and one of the people who think they cannot do without e-commerce. Who's brave enough to come on stage? Somebody has to make a start. It's completely stressless. Great, thank you very much. What group are you? That you wouldn't be able to do it without e-commerce? And who thinks that we can still continue quite happily with e-commerce? I saw your hand. May I ask you? Okay. Okay. Super. Brilliant, thank you. Okay. Frau Vogel, Sie schreiben bitte mit. Frau Vogel, you take notes, please. Okay. I'll read you the statements, or some of the statements. You've all got earphones, headphones, whatever. I read you the statements, and you give a value between 1 and 5. 1 meaning doesn't apply at all, and 5 means completely true. You want me to translate? Yeah? Okay. Prices often are lower online. Is this true in the toy trade or not? 5.
Prices are lower online. Is that true? How true is it? From 1 to 5? 4. Eine 4.
4.
Produkte als Download verfügbar zu machen.
To make products available as downloads keeps your cost lower.
Die Digitalisierung der Produkte
Digitalization of products lowers your cost.
Wie wahr ist das?
How true is this? 1 to 5.
3.
3.
Is it true? And how true is it that digitalizing the products, electronic toys, will lower costs?
I think it'll be 2.5.
2.5. Okay.
2.5.
Okay, that's fair enough. Der Preisvergleich ist Kunden wichtig.
Comparing prices is important to customers. 5.
It's important for customers to compare prices.
5.
5 beide.
Both 5.
Kunden ist die große Auswahl
Customers
wichtig.
like major choice.
It's important for customers to have a big selection. How true? From 1 to 5.
4.
Customers would like things to be individualized. They want products with a name, with their name on, or with the colors they like. 3.
It's important for customers to individualize the product, give them a specific name or a specific color.
4.
Products are often sold out in the brick and mortar shops.
Auch 3.
3.
In the stores, products are sometimes sold out. How true is it that products are often sold out in store?
With personal experience, I would say 2.
Eine 2. Haben Sie das,
2.
bekommen Sie das mit, Frau Vogel? Ich sehe es überhaupt nicht. Okay, und nachdem Sie mitschreiben, da ist
You're taking
mitschreiben.
notes.
Okay, gut.
Okay.
Kunden wollen recherchieren, bevor
Customers
sie
want to
kaufen.
research before they buy.
4.
Customers want to research before buying, before making the actual purchase.
3.
Kunden ziehen den Online-Shopping-Komfort.
Customers prefer online shopping advantages to the physical experience of shopping in a store.
So it's more important for customers to have the convenience of online shopping than to actually have the in-store experience.
3.
3 beide.
Both of them 3.
Kunden ist der Liefer- und Rückgabekomfort.
Customers find it important to have a delivery service and a return
It's
service.
important for customers to have a very convenient way of returning, of getting and returning products.
4.
Okay. Kunden trauen
Customers
Produktbeschreibungen online
tend to
mehr als
trust
im
product
Laden.
descriptions online more than in store.
Okay. Customers
4.
Think that reviews are online more reliable than in store.
More dependable.
Dependable, reliable. Those are more objective, I would say.
Yeah, 4.
4.
4. Kunden sind im Laden
Customers
oft
are often
frustriert.
frustrated in store.
3.
3.
Customers are frustrated in store sometimes.
4.
4.
Kunden haben Vertrauen
Customers
in ihre Online-Händler.
Trust their online retailers.
Customers rely on their online retailers.
4.
4.
Okay, 2 und 4 haben wir hier.
We have 2 and
Vielen
4.
herzlichen Dank.
Thank you very
War
much
das
indeed.
Ach, total.
Was that stressful?
Total
Of course it
stressful.
was.
Thank you very much. Okay, bevor wir
Before we
zur Auflösung
come
schreiten,
to the
vielleicht noch ein, zwei Worte.
solution of the riddle,
Aber Sie haben schon die Resultate.
oh,
Ich
she's
weiß auch
already
schon,
got the
in welche
results, and I
Richtung
know
sie gehen.
exactly in
Danke.
what directions they are going as well.
Okay,
So,
ein, zwei Worte, bevor wir
A few
zur
words before we
Auflösung
come
schreiten.
to the
Bain
results.
Company,
Bain
das
Company,
Unternehmen, das
the
diesen
company that
Test
devised this
hergestellt
test,
hat oder erstellt hat,
they have a limit of 30 to 35, which says if the overall number of points is above 35, then an industry immediately has to think about e-commerce if they haven't done so. And representatives of that business have to really do e-commerce. If it's below, they don't really have to do it. But e-commerce is never a bad idea, but it's not really urgent. So, for comparison, the book trade are at 54, the fashion industry at 34, and foodstuffs, the ones that are least internet dependent, have 20 points. Where do you think we are in toy retailing? What are the numbers given by the two participants here? We are at 53.5, 43.5 or 45 points. The result shows what we know. I know you don't think so. This result, this test shows, and this is why I would have liked to have you on stage, this result shows what we all know, that without e-commerce, as a toy retailer, you can't do without it. But what is the sort of platform you should have? Which platform should you use once you start with e-commerce or once you want to change to e-commerce? This is a very difficult question. Depends very much on the individual circumstances. Many companies faced with a decision really are spoiled for choice because there's so many different platforms. We should look at the profile you need, or what you want, what you expect of this online shop. Just as your real shop should reflect your business environment. I brought you a table with a few platform categories, and I can show you the advantages and disadvantages of these categories in the area of multi-channel integration. I will also talk about which manufacturers would find which platforms most suitable for their work. We start with product lists like Amazon and eBay. They're very popular. It's a very easy way of going online. You immediately have access to a large group of people. What are the disadvantages? You don't really have a lot of control over the design. You have to pay a fee, and of course you're prone to price comparisons. So this is why this platform possibility is the best one for manufacturers or for resellers who want to have a unique selling position. Others will not be able to cope with the price competition. The others are the template-based SaaS software service systems. They're very easy to set up. It's an advantage. You can be branded, but they have very little flexibility. They can't be scaled, and you can't use any other applications. Your computer systems cannot be docked on, so they're not really a good idea for multi-channel integration. The third platform is the open source systems, and they've got such a bandwidth that I had to show. At the lower end you have the content management systems with a shopping basket, and at the top you have very complex e-commerce platforms. Both are programmable, that's why they're flexible and scalable, and they are very good in their functionality, but they need expert know-how, so you'd really have to have external experts, and that of course means cost. These solutions are suitable for smaller and medium enterprises who want to integrate channels and who are looking for a solution that's financeable. And after the end of the spectrum is the tailor-made e-commerce solutions. They need millions invested. They're very flexible and functional, but they're really only suitable for major companies and big manufacturers. This is a very much simplified view. I would really advise everybody who wants to do their first e-commerce platform or wants to change provider or e-commerce platform, that they should talk to somebody who's an expert advisor. I think that investment is really good. Now, I would like to talk to you about marketing and multi-channel. And this is where I would like to introduce two trends to you that I find very important. The first trend is cross-channel marketing and not multi-channel marketing. Again, this is a bit confusing, but that's what it's called. And I would like to show you the difference with a little story again.
Two marketing professionals propose to their girlfriends, and one of them does what he always likes to do. He posts ads and he runs billboard advertising in television commercial space, and everywhere he proposes in a very romantic and efficient manner. Initially, the girlfriend feels very flattered. She likes it, but in the course of time, it's getting on her nerves because the same message keeps being thrown at her everywhere, even after she said yes. The other guy knows his girlfriend, and he knows that she likes surprises. And what does he do? He comes up with a surprising game. He sends her a letter with a key to a mailbox. And there she finds an audio recording. And that guides her, invites her to a date in Central Park. And as soon as she arrives in Central Park, there is, a string quartet, and a waiter comes out of the shade and invites her to a nicely laid table where this guy is waiting for her, but only now, after she has been guided there, she is overwhelmed, and only then will he ask the question, and then he, of course, gets a positive answer. Well, I think you can guess that the role model for cross-channel marketing is the second guy. Now, if you want to use several channels, first of all, you have to really navigate the customer or guide the customer through the various channels. Look at this young mother. Like most customers, she begins her research on the web, on the internet. And if this is a good toy trader, he will show her the right kind of content, guide her to the Facebook page where she will get a mobile application which she downloads, and at the right point in time, this application will invite her to the shop where she will make the purchase. And all of this is really something she is tempted to do, seduced to do. And that's what we mean by cross-channel marketing. The next important trend is personalized marketing. We talked about the 360-degree view of customers before, and multi-channel retailers are able to approach and address their customers in a personalized manner. Toys R Us, for instance. Toys R Us are sending their customers regular emails, and it says, "We, just for you." Just for you. That's what it says in the subject line. And the promotions in these emails are customized to the various recipients. Well, Macy's, and I was surprised to hear that, sends 500,000 different versions of their printed catalogs to customers. So the book of or the booklet or the brochure for a grandmother looks completely different from the brochure they're going to send to somebody who is not married and who is a sports enthusiast. So what they do is personalized marketing. Multi-channel integration made marketing more dynamic, and this is also what it does to stores now. So let's admit it. Shopping in a store is often not really fun. Look at this poor lady here. She is very bored. Not surprising, because the shop is really quite dull. There are queues forming at the cash register, and the service staff are not really interested in serving customers. The good news is multi-channel integration will mean a revival for the shops. You might think multi-channel integration is going to put an end to brick-and-mortar shops. Quite on the contrary, multi-channel integrators have understood it. The shop is the only element which the digital world cannot offer, and this is why this weak point, which looks like this, they're going to turn this weak spot into a strength. So it's a revival of the stores. How are they going to do it? Well, they are going to each do it differently, but I brought 3 examples. Let's take a look. The first one is the Disney store. Disney store at Times Square, but all Disney stores will now be redesigned. The underlying motto is the store should not be just a point of sale or distribution, but it should also be the best half hour in the day of a child. So that means it should offer an environment which gives a child the best half hour in his or her day. How are they going to do it? With lots of attractions, with a magical mirror for the little princesses, and with an interactive virtual theater where children can select what they want to hear or see, and with a roundabout which is circling up there in the air. So it's going to be a magnificent shopping experience. And of course, all of the channels are fully integrated. You can shop online from the store. You can pick up your online purchases in the store, and so on. And this redesigned concept of Disney's has been a great success. The company doesn't want to give us exact figures, but they said that much, that the dwell time and the number of visitors in the redesigned stores have doubled. So the visitors to the shops spend twice as much time in the shops now. Another one that I really like is Burberry's in London. Who knows it? Who's been to it? Burberry's in London. Now, the Burberry shop in London, I like it so much because it uses an entirely new concept. There's very little merchandise in this shop. Well, every item is shown only once and not more than that. But there are lots and lots of staff. They have an iPad and they have been trained to offer optimum customer service. So they go to each and every customer and support the customer, help the customer find the product in the right color and size, be it in stock or online. They really consult the customer. And of course, they also promote upselling and cross-selling as a consequence. And what it means is they are really generating extra sales for Burberry's. The third store, the last one I want to show you, is Tourneau. I liked it so much because it offers a very clever integration of online and offline concepts with the virtual tray. Now, the virtual tray is a virtual tray for watches. So as an online visitor, when you go to Tourneau and look at a couple of watches, and then you shortlist your favorite watches, then you can create a virtual tray on which the watches are presented to you. And you can send it to the shop and then arrange a date or an appointment with the shop. And the assistant in the shop is going to look at your virtual tray. It's going to, well, add your own shopping history to it if it exists, and in this way can optimally prepare him or herself for your visit. Vice versa, if you as a visitor go to the shop and there are 3 or 4 watches that you consider buying, then a virtual tray of watches can be created for you. It will be sent to you, and then later on you can really make a well-informed purchasing decision. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this virtual watch tray generated lots of success for Tourneau, but to conclude my presentation, let me talk about your success. And for this, there's one last piece of advice I would like to share with you. When you return to your desk, take some time out, take a break, close the doors, shut your eyes, and forget about multi-channel, only-channel, cross-channel, forget online, offline, social, mobile, forget about all of these. Forget about markets and competitors, and only exclusively focus on your customer. Think about it and identify what your customer, he or she wants, what he or she doesn't want, and what the customer really needs. Very often the customer doesn't know it, but you as the multi-channel integrator, you know what the customers really need. Think about it. Think about how you can lead a better and more satisfied life, and be courageous. new territory, new ways. Richard Sears and Alba Rover, you have to be courageous and look into new avenues, and your customers and business will be most grateful for this. And I would like to say thank you now. Thank you for your attention and your interest.